Hello. So this is a response video to Vince Ventuella's um, The Bits Problem. Firstly, the thank yous. As always, thanks for making these videos, Vince. I love them. I absolutely love them. Sometimes the subjects are a little bit advanced for me. By advanced, I mean you're talking about stuff that I don't really get involved with. Maybe I'm not ready yet. Sometimes your subjects are absolutely brilliant. Um, I've actually had discussions about bits problems in the past. What you do with them, do you use them? Yeah, it's really nice to get this out on the open. So I'm going to answer your questions, and then I'm going to show you what I do, and then explain my personal circumstances, and then show you that I'm changing my system and why I'm doing it. So first of all, do I like extra bits? Again, this is one of those questions you quite often ask, and your first response is, well, that's a stupid question. Of course you do, or because you don't, whatever. But then when you kind of delve into it a little bit more, you think, well, it is a good question. I'm very tempted to say, well, of course I like extra bits, because when you get extra bits, it's usually to make options. For example, probably one of the best examples is the Bloodthirster from Games Workshop. It comes with 3 heads. So that gives you the option. So if you went out and bought 3 Bloodthirsters, you can make 3 completely unique Bloodthirsters. The problem with that is obviously you're going to end, if you buy 3 Bloodthirsters, you're going to end up with 6 leftover heads. So what do you do with those heads? Well, then you go out and you buy the Age of Sigmar box set, and you get, really bad example, but it works really well, the Korgoroth. It has no options whatsoever. So if you bought 3 box sets, or you've got hold of 3 Korgoroths, you're going to end up with 3 completely identical Korgoroths. So what do? Well, you use your spare heads from your Bloodthirster, and you add them onto the Korgoroth. Bit of green stuff, bit of cutting perhaps, but now you've got unique models which you've used spare bits from other bits. That being said, why it's not a stupid question, so I'm not going to use the word stupid, daft. Some people don't want the extra options. I haven't met anyone, but I can imagine that. I'm sorry, I might have just lost the camera there. I'll run the video back. Obviously, if it's okay, I'll keep this. So yeah, some people may not want the extra options, but I would imagine that the bits are good, because obviously it allows for conversions. And of course, if you don't want them, you can just chuck them in the bin. The other thing, I didn't really see it mentioned. You did mention sprues. I'm going to show you these. This is just something I've got to hand. These are some of the Shattered Dominion bases. What I find a lot of people throw away, and I throw a lot of myself, are these sprues, but I tend to keep them. Now, I've done a video in the past about the problem I have is the Citadel lids. They keep closed. You can't keep them open. So what you need to do is pop something in the back there, and as you can see, the sprues are absolutely perfect for that. Sorry, a little bit of background. I came from quite poor upbringing, so we didn't have a lot of money. So quite often, if we wanted stuff, we had to make do. When I was young, I made a Skittle set out of some empty pop bottles filled up with sand, you know. And then being a crafter as well, I'm always looking at things and saying, what can I do that? What can I do with that? There's an example. This is a lid from a milk bottle top. I get through a bottle of milk every couple of days. So every couple of days I've got myself a new pallet. I mean, I use pallets as well. But yeah, we're not just talking conversions, we're talking tools. Another, obviously this isn't going to apply to you quite so much, but let me just show you a little trick. This is more for scale modelers. When you do aircraft, you obviously you get like little fly-by-wire things. Um, there you go. Now you got yourself a little wire. So anyone who throws these sprues away, you're actually throwing away quite a lot of uses. If you know, I've seen people paint these up. If you do them carefully enough, I mean, this is very, very quick. Don't do this in a non-ventilated area, but you'll see how that's gone quite bubbly. So you know, perhaps a drop or something. Maybe if you burn it correctly, you've got mucus and stuff that you could use it for. So yeah, if you just throw these in the bin, again you're throwing away tools. You know, and that's just two things I've just quickly done. So you've got your bits for your conversions, and you've got your bits for additional things, extra effects. How many times have we said the base makes or breaks the model? So how do I store my bits? Well, I'm obviously, compared to you, I'm fairly new. Quite a while back, I bought these. You could probably get these from all over places, but these particular ones is made by a company called Really Useful Boxes, and they are really useful. And what I've done, I've collected 4 of these so far, and I do apologise about my camera angles. The lighting isn't very good to use the main inbuilt one. But here we've got some Ungor Raider bits. These are bits off Blood Reavers. Let me open them up and show you. I don't really want to put my bits in one. I've seen people who have like a big box and they put loads of bits in, and that's fine, but you lose them. These are some blood letters, and there's a standard in there, flag. So obviously, you know, I didn't need that many standard bearers. Some bits from River Trolls. I've got a blood secretor in there. I don't need 3. I've got 3 blood Sigma box sets. Now, here comes the problem. Over time, I've put labels on the front. As you see, that works for me. But over time, you see the writing's come off, where it's been in the sun perhaps. So okay, now opening it up, I can see it's a Demon Prince. So there's bits from the Demon Prince. So that's how I store my bits. Another one here, I don't know what it is. I think this is, I don't know, it's got a textured base to it anyway. So you can see the problem I'm getting is the storage. I mean, some things are obvious to see. I mean, this one's got a nice label. These are my magnets. If I buy things from a particular place, I tend to try and keep the label it came with, because then I know where to get it to reorder it. I'm sorry that's not coming into focus, but there we go. So there's some 2x1 magnets there, pack of 500. Obviously there's not going to be 500 left. So yeah, and these boxes, no, they have. I thought they had holes in. I know there was one. I drilled a hole in the back and stuck them on the wall. So my new storage system, KR case. Now these are designed for models. However, again, I haven't actually done this, but this is something I'm working on. Right. this one. I can't remember which is which because I haven't labelled. This is one box of 4, and each box in this particular case has three layers. Sorry, 6 layers. You see, this particular one I'm using it for my paints. Oh, thanks for that recommendation on the watercolours. I've ended up buying the whole set now. So this isn't actually the box I want. They come in lots and lots of different trays, but the tray that I'm actually looking for is called a pluck one. I'm sorry, I'm not really as well prepared as I could be. So what I'm basically going to do, now that's another paint one. Each bag has a little slot on the side there, and you can pop something in there, little piece of card. And all I'm going to do on that one is just label them box 1 or bag 1, bag 2, bag 3, bag 4. And then I'm intending to do a piece of paper or a spreadsheet or something. Oh, each box is then going to be labelled 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. Obviously the first number is the bag that it refers to. That's another paint one. And then obviously the point refers to which box it is within the bag. There we go, this is what I'm after. So this is a pretty bog standard. This is what you'd probably put 40mm base or 30mm. You could get Blood Warriors in there. And the majority of these, find something that work. That's probably too much. There we go. Right, so there's my blood secretor. So he'll actually fit into one of those. Ish. Probably a bad example, but obviously, so now already I've reduced this much space down to that much space. I was going to say about my circumstances. I work on contracts, so I tend to be here, there, and everywhere for 3 months at a time. So it's actually really important for me to be able to store all of my stuff, unpack it. Obviously, just because I'm working doesn't mean I don't have to do my hobby. So I've got a couple of tables, and I can just assemble and unassemble them. So this is a smaller tray. So if I've got any bits like magnets or something, they'll probably go in there. And this particular one this is the pluck one. I'm just opening up a bit so you can see. So for something like, for example, my Demon Prince, that's not going to fit into one of these. I'll just open this up. These are all the bits from my Demon Prince. You can quite clearly see they're not going to fit into there. I'll probably need 2 or 3. So the options I've got there is I can either cut one of the walls there, or I can just open up enough of these just to fit the Demon Prince. So with an average of 6 trays in each box, 4 boxes, that's 24 trays. Depending on the particular model that it is, I could fit anything up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. I could fit up to 18. Realistically, 18 in a tray. So we've got 18. Do you know, I'm going to have to get my calculator out now. So we've got 18 to a tray, 6 trays, 4. So in one of these bags, which I don't have to just put bits in. Obviously, I can put in small things like you know, there's a bottle of glue, so that, you know, that could go in one. So in one box bag this big, I could fit potentially up to all the spare parts from 432 different models. You multiply this by 4 bags, two bags. You've got, well, 430 chairs, not far off 500, is it? So let's do some rough maths. 500 for 400, 5 bags, you got yourself 2,000 different model parts. So I've just noticed this. Obviously, it's been caught in the sun, isn't it? So organising. Well, if I gave everything a 4 number system, let's for argument's sake 1.2.3.4. So the first number 1, that refers to the bag number, the 1. The 2 refers to the tray, so that would be the second tray in. The third one would refer to the actual foam piece, and then the fourth number would refer to where it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18. And then all I'd need to do is just print off some pieces of paper with some blank spaces that refer to all the numbers, and then I can just write them in. However, what I like to do every now and again, do you guys sort your bits out? Do you sift through them? If I just grab, I've not actually been through these for a long time. So there we go. Look, this one's Bloodthirster. I forgot I had Bloodthirster bits. So if I have a little look through here, well, here we've got a chain. So now I'm starting. Oh, there we go. We've got a big axe. So an armor plate. So now I might be starting to think, well, I've got these bits, what can I use them for? So that armor plate, if I trim that down a bit, maybe I could use that. I don't know, I've got Blood Bowl on the mind at the moment, so maybe I could use it for a Blood Bowl player. Chaos Warrior shield slipped in there. So you've got, I mean, I've one of my favourite conversions I've done is I had some Dragon Ogres, and they have a choice of weapons, and one of them was an axe, which I didn't use the axe. I think I used their spears to give them the extra range. But the axe, I chopped the axe down a little bit, and I did a conversion with my Chaos Lord on. Do you know what? There's a really nice shoulder pad there. So there you go. Every time I look through this box, I'm discovering bits. So yeah, so I've got a Lord of Khorne on a Juggernaut, and I decided to grant him a Chaos gift of strength. No, actually, I remember the backlog story was first I granted him a Chaos gift of a massive axe. And then at a later point in his life, he was then granted the Chaos gift of the strength to lift it. I just imagine Khorne sitting on his skull throne going, we'll give him something that he'll think is really nice, but in actual fact is completely useless. There you go, there's this massive axe. And the Chaos Lord is like, oh, thank you, Lord Khorne, you know, Khorne, I really appreciate that, I will use it in your honour. First battle he goes into, oh, and then the next battle he does well with it, so he's granted the strength to use it like a single-handed sword or something. So yeah, there's my setup. My setup is centered around Don't want to throw anything away that might be useful in the future. It's also centered around being able to transport it. The last place I lived at, I had a 2-bedroom house on my own, so I turned the bedroom into a big paint studio, so I could put things up on the wall, um, any dead spaces that I had. Sorry, I have a habit of looking into the laptop camera, but in actual fact the camera's there, so I'm not looking. um, so yeah, I could set things up on the wall. Everything was set up to be permanently in that place. I had 2 or 3 desks. I could have a desk for painting. I could have a desk for making. Excuse me. I had a separate space for drying. Just put um, and I had various projects on the go. But I'm back to moving around a lot, so it is problematic. But also, if I can't fit everything in my car in one go, it means I have to make a second trip. Um, Now, if my next job is 200 miles away, then if I fit everything in my car, then that's 200 miles. If I require 2 car loads, then that's 200 miles there, 200 miles back, and then another 200 miles there. So now I've done 600 miles just to get all my stuff out. Hiring a van isn't practical because then I'd have to bring the van back, so I'm still doing the mileage. And obviously, so for every extra trip I would do, it's another 400 miles. I mean, I might be lucky, I might have another job 50 miles away. Um, but obviously, I need to get everything down. And of course, there's certain items that I have that aren't anything to do with hobby, such as my clothing, my game system, my TV, because obviously you can't be bored while you're working, otherwise it's no point in being there. So yeah, quick recap. Do I like having extra bits? Yes, I do. It gives me the options when making the figures, and then it then gives me bits for conversions. How do I store them? Well, at the moment in little boxes. Sometimes the boxes aren't practical. Obviously, this isn't anything to do with conversion, but this is grass, so I can't fit that in a tiny tub. How easy is it to find them? Well, I'm developing a cataloguing system which just basically consists of a 4-digit number, which will point me exactly where I need something. And remembering them, well, I don't want to remember what bits I've got, because one day when I've not really got much on, I'll go through my collection and I'll go, ooh, obviously as I was making this video, I've got a couple of shoulder pads that I forgot I had, and now I'm thinking, well, how can I use those shoulder pads? There you go, there's a Blood Bowl Dark Black Orc. Oops, it was a Black Orc. So now I'm thinking, well, if I put, because obviously I've got 2 Black Orcs the same, but if I can put shoulder pads on one of them, different ones, I've got a unique one. So yeah, I don't want to remember what I've got, because when I go through my bits box, it then gives, rather than making a model and thinking, well, I need a bit to do this, now I can look at the bits and then go, right, well, I can make the model. So yeah, and then having a catalogue system. I'm sure there's people out there that don't have a system where they can find things. Personally, I can't think of not having a system, but I try to be organised. So again, thanks for making the video, Vince. Really good video. I haven't looked at any of the responses yet. It's Sunday at the moment, so I did notice there was one response you put up. So if anyone comes up with the same thing as me previous to this or after, I apologise. And have a good week. And now I'm going to sit back, relax, and catch up on some of your videos. Ta-ra!